Chris Scalzo here with
Matt Howell.
And on this episode of The First Run, we're going to talk about Sully, the new film with Tom Hanks, directed by Clint Eastwood. In our title,
Who the hell is that supposed to be?
you ruined it for me. I don't know. I was just trying to do a different little, I don't know,
Okay.
surfer voice. Jerk.
Excuse me.
We'll tell you what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD. And then we're going to do Three-Headed Shark Attack. And I'm also going to tell you what I think our five most anticipated films of the rest of the year are. And I have some interesting honorable mentions as well. But key point, Matt, none of those films can be Rogue Squadron, Rogue People. Rogue One.
Yeah.
Thank you. Star Wars film. Because I think it would be our default number one. So we wanted to make it a little more interesting than that. All right, let's jump into it, Matt. Let's hear a clip from Sully.
Texas 1549, runway 4, clear for takeoff.
Sully. Sully. Sully, you're too low. Sully. 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 Sully, where are you?
No one warned us. No one said you were going to lose both engines at a lower altitude than any jet in history. This was dual engine loss at 2,800 feet, followed by an immediate water landing with 155 souls on board. No one has ever trained for an incident like that.
Our job is to investigate how a plane ended up in the Hudson River.
On the Hudson.
It's not a crash, it was a forced water landing.
Simulations showed that you could make it back to the airport.
Not possible. I felt it go. My aircraft.
Your aircraft.
I want you to know I did the best I could.
Of course you did. You saved everyone.
People call you a hero.
I don't feel like a hero.
Show us your cakes, Super Sully.
There's been too much talk in the press already.
I'm overwhelmed by all this attention.
The left engine was still operating.
What if I did get this wrong? What if I endangered the lives of all those passengers?
I got an A320 diving for the river.
You did everything you could. It was more than enough.
When was your last drink, Captain Sullenberger? Have you had any troubles at home?
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
What?
All right, Matt, why don't you tell the listeners what Sully's all about?
All I can think of is, like, when we say Sully and you're talking that voice, all I can think of is David Duchovny as Mulder. Scully, we need help. Yeah, so this is I don't know if there's really a lot to tell about this story. I mean, obviously, if you've been alive since 2009, you know about the miracle on the Hudson. This is basically the story of Captain Chesley, Sully Sullenberger, who is basically was the pilot of U.S. Air Flight 1549. I think I got that right. He had obviously catastrophic failure and had to ditch the plane into the Hudson River. And yeah, all of his passengers survived, which is very, very unusual in this type of circumstances. So this is basically his story of that, story of him and the investigation and just the events surrounding that.
There you go. I think this is the first time Clint's ever shot with an IMAX camera. So I think that was interesting. I did have the opportunity to see it in IMAX as well. I don't know if I needed to, but I still got to see it. So at least I get to see the true vision of Clint's interpretation of these events. I got to tell you, Matt, I had my concerns because first off, how much story is there really here for an hour and a half film?
Right.
You know, mercifully, it's not 2 hours, 220 as well. You know, luckily, it's just over an hour and a half, which is fine. I think that's pretty much the best you can do with the material that you have. Plus, let's all be honest, all right? Clint can be a little flat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about J. Edgar, Changeling. You can go back to stuff like Bloodwork. You know, sometimes when he directs stuff, they're just these films are inert. But then you have he delivers stuff like $1 Million Baby. You know, I mean, he can be a fantastic director, but sometimes he just has the movies are flat. Mm-hmm. So there's always that chance when you're going into it. And as I said before, I think I'm concerned about the lack of really story. Well, how much is there really to tell? And is it going to be too much of a puff piece on Sully? Or are we just going to be watching just this great guy from start to finish being inundated with just how much of a family man he is and his past as a veteran and all this, it's just going to be just a big love fest. Or are we going to see like an interesting film? I don't know. So Matt, where'd you come down? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had the same concerns. I mean, obviously, like you said, I don't know how much story there was in this film. And not only that, it's not even like it's an event that isn't, it's very recent. So everybody kind of knows everything about it. I mean, Sullenberger has been on TV and, I was really curious to see what this film could tell me that I didn't already know. I guess overall, I guess it was surprisingly effective in parts where even though I knew what was going to happen and I knew everything was going to be all right, they still managed to build a little bit of tension and just to seeing how these things actually occurred. So I guess that was something that was pleasantly surprising. But I mean, overall for me, it was relatively blah. I mean, it was the performances were good. It looked good for the most part. But I mean, like you said, what happens. Everybody who's of a certain age, which we are, knows this story. So it's not really breaking any kind of new ground.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I may have enjoyed it more than you did. I think the film was buoyed by Hanks's pitch perfect performance. I think he is really, really good in this movie. And so is Aaron Eckhart too. I think maybe you're right. I think the story is a little shallow. It's a little shallow, the film, because of the limitations of our story. But still, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I got to admit, Matt, it was a little unsettling when Sully was having those visions of the planes crashing into the buildings in New York. That was a little disconcerting for me.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was unsettling, and I could definitely see what Eastwood was going for there. I mean, it was very on the nose and maybe even a little heavy-handed, but it was very, watching it, the planes, slowly coming through over Manhattan and watching the kind of people not knowing what's going on as it happened, even the visions that he had. I mean, yeah, it was very effective. Although, again, I'm sitting there in my seat a little bit going, I see what you're doing there, Clint. And, I think even towards the end of the film, like some union rep after they land comes in and says, this city could use some good news, pause a beat, especially when it comes with planes, wink, and then like walks out the door.
It didn't feel quite as forced to me. But I think it was an interesting choice releasing this on the 15th anniversary of September 11th as well. It came out that weekend.
Right.
So this is, I don't know. I feel like I questioned that a little bit, but that's fine. So, and then there's a bit of a straw man argument when it comes to the investigators, that they were made to have to expand the drama and really question Sully and his decisions, saying that, the computer simulation said you can do this. And this is my own failing. I don't know how accurate all of that is, or if this is more of a dramatic interpretation by Clint. If things actually unfolded the way they do in the movie, where, he realized that the computers were doing the simulations as if the decision was made right away, and they took 200 seconds to figure out what they were going to do, or they knew right away what directions to go to when they had to find out while they were doing it, which further slowed things down, which led to them not being able to return to the runways, even though the simulation said they could. So I don't know, that's a failure on my part, maybe not to know that part of the story, but it felt very like they made the investigators a little more out to get them right, than I think maybe they really would have been. And then they had the big shift at the end when the reveal is made that they could not have made it, and how proud and respectful they all are. That didn't feel quite as honest to me. Though I got to admit, it was nice to see Anna Gunn out there. I always feel bad for Anna Gunn because of Breaking Bad, because a lot of people hated her on that show, and that's not her fault. She's the voice of reason on that show, but everybody's so much rooting for Heisenberg there, right? For Walt to be this.
Yeah, she's in the way, man. She's in the way of our hero that we want to watch be bad, right?
And all she's trying to do is protect her family. What a bee. So anyway, I don't know. I always felt bad for her there, but it's nice to see her out in some other stuff. And I guess she has another film that's out now-ish or coming out where she plays an evil Wall Street exec. basically, who does some insider tradings. I don't know. It looked interesting. I'd like to catch up with that at some point. But anyway, to get back to it, I think, too, that the editing was nice. I should say it's nicely sequenced, right? Where we don't start with the crash. We actually don't get it until about halfway through the film. I think it would have been a lot more anticlimactic if the film starts with the crash and then everything unfolds. I think Clint is smart to move things around in time like he does. And there's no waste. You know, there's no excess stuff. We don't have any romantic conflicts or an unruly set of passengers who end up coming in to save the day to help save some other passengers. You know, there's no wasted stuff to help fluff up the runtime on this. So I appreciate that as well. And if I had any other criticism too, though, it's kind of thing. The thing just kind of ends.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows there's nowhere else to go. I feel like at the end of the film, and Clint looked around and said, all right, well, that's it.
All right, I guess we're done here. Bust out craft services.
So it does just kind of slowly peter out. But I don't know. I still really enjoyed it. I think it was an interesting telling of the events that happened. And I didn't, and it was interesting to see how it all unfolded because I didn't see it, right? All I saw was on the news afterwards to actually get the visual representation of how everything happened. And let's be clear. This guy, I think calling him a hero is justified. The decisions he made, he was just a perfect man at the perfect time, right? He was he needed to be there. He got it done, and it was interesting watching it. Do I think you need to run out to the theaters to see this? I don't think so. I think you can wait for this to hit video, even though seeing it on IMAX and you get the loudness and the planes and the large images, great. I don't know if there's a real need to see it in the theater, but I think you should. I would give this a solid B. I think it's entertaining. It's worth your time. And, yeah, that's where I come down. So I enjoyed it, but I think we could wait.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I think it's clear that I enjoyed it less than you did. I mean, it was fine, but I mean, this I don't know how to describe it, but this is like a quintessential grown-up movie. Like it's a film that is competent. It's enjoyable to watch. It's a distraction while you're watching it, but it's not a movie that you're gonna dwell on a lot. It's not a film that you're gonna be pulling out, later down the line saying, oh man, I really want to watch Sully again or anything like that. I think this is like a one-timer film. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, you're going to be entertained if you need to go, if you're in your 50s and you're going out on your date night or whatever. I mean, this is a film that I can see, our friends, my parents going to see or something like that. I guess, like I said, I was generally unimpressed. It was fine. But I mean, it's not something I'll, I guarantee you 2 months from now, I won't even remember really much about this movie.
Fair enough. All right, quick, what are the odds, Matt? What are the odds Tom Hanks get nominated for a Best Actor at the Academy Awards?
For this?
Yeah.
Just because it's Hanks, I'm going to say 75%. And just because, even though I know we're going into the heart of awards season right now, I haven't seen a whole lot that's super impressive. So I anticipate he'll at least get nominated.
I can tell you, I'm confident to tell you, I think three of them right now. Are you ready?
Okay.
I'm going to go, I think Hanks is going to get a nomination. I'm 95% that he's going to get an Oscar nomination for that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go Ryan Gosling for La La Land.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Michael Keaton for a film as well. A couple films we'll be talking about coming up as well. I think Keaton's going to get a nomination too again. Okay. We'll see. But I'm 95% though that he's going to get a nomination for Sully. I almost have no doubt in my mind. The way the Academy works, the fact that it's Hanks, and this film is held up by Hanks for me.
Okay.
I think if he's pulled out of this and we have somebody else, a Russell Crowe or I don't know, just pick somebody. I don't know. I think Hanks, just like Sully was the perfect guy for this event, Hanks is the perfect guy for this film.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm very confident about that. All right.
Yeah.
Got a chance to see Sully. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Matt, let's talk about what's coming up in Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday. That's going to be September 20th. First off, you have a sequel to a film I didn't see. I haven't seen either of these damn things. And that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. It includes a 3D Blu-ray version or straight traditional Blu-ray version. If you buy it from Target, Matt, you get some special shell, turtle shell packaging. If you buy it from Walmart, you get a Cowabunga gift set, which includes some little figurines of all the characters. And then Best Buy has a steel book. There's also a 2-movie gift collection that you can get, which comes with a lunchbox that looks like a bus. It comes with both films and includes digital copies for both. Neighbors 2. Now, I enjoyed Neighbors. I felt it was amusing but not funny.
Okay. All right.
I had to see the sequel. Maybe if it hits Netflix or something. But I had no overwhelming drive to see Neighbors 2. What about you? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that's when it comes out inevitably on like HBO or something, I'll be like, oh yeah, let's sit and watch that. But I'm in no hurry to go out and actually seek it out.
Yeah, it includes a Blu-ray DVD digital copy and ultraviolet pass. Target has an exclusive content. I don't know if it's disc or digital, but I think it's like 40 minutes of other stuff that you can only get from Target. Deleted scenes, gag reel, Linorama, their typical stuff, and a bunch of other featurettes. Matthew McConaughey's much maligned Free State of Jones is being released. This is where he plays Newt Knight, a man who leads a rebellion in, where was it? I know it was in the South. Was it South Carolina? Mississippi. And they actually form a little county area that secedes from the Confederacy. Includes a history of Jones County in the as a special feature. New to Blu-ray, Matt, 30th anniversary edition of Labyrinth.
Ooh, very nice.
Amazon has an exclusive gift box that looks like the mirror box at the end of the film, you know, when they're going up and down the Escher-esque stairs, up and around and stuff. It includes a Blu-ray copy with the film and a digital copy. Some special features, all new, the Henson Legacy featurette, where Jennifer Connelly and the Henson family talk about the art of the puppetry and the magic of Jim Henson, along with a visit to the Center for Puppetry Arts. And then featuring the Jim Henson collection, over 100 puppets from the Labyrinth. An anniversary Q&A is included as well. The Goblin King featurette, all new. There's a section on remembering David Bowie. I think I may have to get it just for that. So if you're a big Labyrinth fan, there's your new chance to get the 30th anniversary edition. There's a 4K version of this being released as well. So if you want to get that Bowie bulge in 4K, this is your chance.
Are you gonna go get it?
I don't know. I may upgrade at some point, but I'm not a day one.
Okay. Now you're waiting for that. You're waiting for that sale to come through where you can just justify it to yourself.
Basically, yeah. And I'm not a 4K guy yet. You know, yeah, I think I'm a few years away from that. Okay. So, but I'm actually basically in lockdown mode, Matt. Now that we're in September, I'm like in Black Friday lockdown mode. So I'm not buying anything until Black Friday rolls around, and then I'll be dropping $200 or something. But you know, once you get to this point of the year, it doesn't make sense, because at least half, if not 3/4 of this stuff that I would buy is going to be like $5 to $8. Right. So Criterion is giving us the Coen Brothers' first and possibly best film, Blood Simple, with an all-new restored 4K digital transfer approved by the cinematographer and Joel and Ethan Coen. A new conversation between Sonnenfeld and Coens about the film's look, featuring telestrator video illustrations, which may be interesting. A bunch of other stuff, too. So you're a fan of Blood Simple, this will be the edition you need to pick up. Cat People, Val Lewton's classic horror film, is getting a new 2K digital transfer. An audio commentary from the 2005 feature film historian Gregory Monk. Val Lewton, The Man in the Shadows, a 2008 feature-length documentary that explores the life and career of the legendary producer. Cat People, the original one, is something I've wanted to catch up with a long time, Matt, and I'm glad I'm going to have this opportunity. Granted, I have to wait for the next Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. Olive's Signature. It's a new offshoot of Olive releasing. This is their high-end, well, maybe we say Criterion-esque release, and they're giving us High Noon, the brand new 4K restoration. If you haven't seen High Noon, it's one of the classic Westerns. Matt, you're a Western guy. Are you a fan of High Noon?
I am a fan of High Noon. It is one of the classics. It's one of the canon that you're just gonna have to see if you want to be up to date on your Westerns. And
that's the one where like there's a bunch of gangsters are coming to kill him, and he asks the town for help, and they all say, "You're on your own, buddy."
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yep.
And this one's for you, Matt. This is for the kids. Beauty and the Beast, 25th anniversary edition from Disney. So you and your lovely imaginary daughter can finally catch up with this on Blu-ray. Includes a whole bunch of new featurettes and 3 versions of the film, Matt. There's a theatrical, an extended version. There's a work in progress version as well. There's also 4, and a never before released sing-along version.
Oh.
So fans of Beauty and the Beast, this is your big moment. And then we have a trio of Stephen King movies getting released on Blu-ray. There's It, Cat's Eye, and Salem's Lot, all getting released on Blu-ray. Your straight to DVD pick of the week, Matt. I'm going to go with Alien Ween.
Alien, like, is that like a wiener? Is that what we're talking about?
That was my initial thought about this, but it's no. Let me explain. 4 friends decide to spend Halloween night partying in a country house with call girls. The house has been abandoned ever since a tragic death occurred there years ago. While they're partying, strange, slimy meteors begin to fall from the sky. The raging storm outside brings them face to face, Matt, with not only the house's tragic past, but with an alien invasion of the strangest kind. This Halloween, there's the ween, the aliens are here and it's not good. They came from outer space to make one hell of a party.
Dun, dun, dun. Sounds fantastic.
So there you go.
Sign me up.
Anything you've been watching streaming this week, Matt? Because remember, that's your new job.
Oh, that is my new job.
Streaming picks of the week.
Streaming picks of the week. All right, well, we're going to talk about what I watched on streaming in a few minutes. So I fell down on the job. Please don't fire me. I'll have something for next week. I forgot it was my job, Chris. Forgot it was my job.
That's fine. I don't know. I don't think they've really been watching anything else outside of the stuff we had to watch this week either, so I don't have much to tell you that way. Sorry, kids. I'm sure there's lots of cool stuff out there, but I got nothing to tell you.
Yeah.
So I still have yet to catch up with Daredevil. It's horrible.
I haven't finished it.
I guess I think that's a bit of a testimony to the season of Daredevil, where neither of us are like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
I'll get around to it eventually. I mean, hell, it took me months to finish Jessica Jones. I've got about halfway through it, and I kind of eked out the rest of it. So,
what do you think that's a flaw with Netflix releasing all the episodes at once like that? Where there's the binge thing of it, but I think that may burn out for people, right? That they may kind of get over it, and then eventually it's going to be more like you and I, where it's like, oh, it's there. I'll catch up with it when I can catch up with it.
Yeah,
and then you never do.
I think it really depends on the strength of the show. So like if Stranger Things, I burned through that in like 2 nights. I mean, it was
still haven't watched
it. I enjoyed it that much. I mean, and if something like Game of Thrones came out like that, I would burn it literally through it in one night if I could. I caught up with Mr. Robot on Amazon, and I watched that whole first season in like 2 days. So I think it really depends on the strength of the show. I think we've got Luke Cage coming out next week or the week after.
Yeah, it's coming.
So I mean, that'll be interesting to see if that holds my interest more. But I've enjoyed the Marvel series, but I mean, I haven't really been, unfortunately, I haven't been blown away with them.
Yeah, we'll see if they come up with next. I know about Luke Cage and Defenders. I'm still holding out for a Moon Knight or something like that, but we'll see.
Well, they've officially announced Punisher for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my problem I think is I got the season pass for Star Wars Battlefront because they had it on sale. So
Right.
I've been playing a lot of that.
Right.
It's been taking up my free time at night. So, all right. Well, let's take a break and let's come back and talk about the modern classic that is Three-Headed Shark Attack. We'll be right back.
We are so pleased that the Earth Pack has agreed to send you over here to study the garbage patch.
Amazing.
Every 4th or 5th specimen we pull from the ocean manifests a mutation.
Hey, check out this little guy. Thing is pissed.
How's it looking?
Something's spooking the mutations. That's weird. Something big right off the shoreline.
Professor, look!
Holy hell.
You're now moving to stage 2, safety protocol. Complete lockdown.
The station was attacked by a giant 3-headed shark. Can you help us?
We're on our way.
Matt, I think we call it after this. I don't know if we need to continue with this marathon. Plus,
Really?
I have a better idea because next week is going to be Blair Witch.
Right.
And I think it would be fun to revisit the original Blair Witch Project as a second film. And I got to tell you, after this film, I just don't know if this is how I want to spend my time.
What do you mean? It was an opus. It was a modern opus.
Well, I saw it when the Asylum logo came up again. I was not aware there was another Asylum film. I should have known.
Yeah.
A part of me died inside. I did a very much Mystery Science Theater-esque, like, no! Like the Francis Coleman thing would come up, and they'd all groan. But, yeah. So this time, we have a bunch of people that are some scientists and some activists that are going to get together for some science activeness, and they are at this laboratory at an atoll. And for some reason, Matt, that I still can't wrap my head around, the laboratory is underwater.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know why.
It is though.
Like a half a mile underwater.
Considering that the water looks like it's about 50 feet deep because you can see the bottom in all the aerial shots that they're doing.
and then so what happens is there's a lot of garbage, right? There's a lot of that's what they're studying, the garbage thing in the Pacific Ocean, the garbage pile, bloom, whatever the thing's called. And this garbage thing has led to a lot of fish in the area mutating. Mm-hmm. And one of those things that mutates is a shark that comes up with 3 heads. Later on 5. Let's not bury the lead. But it starts with 3 heads, and it's really upset. And it has magic powers, Matt, because there are scenes where people are in water up to their knees. The shark swims up to them. The shark, because the other thing too is the shark changes size.
Right.
Sometimes it's really big.
Right.
Sometimes it's the size of like a big tuna.
Right.
And there are times where it jumps out of the water, probably 23 feet. And then falls and eats the people and falls into the water that's again knee deep. And this is when it's at its biggest size, mind you.
Right. When it weighs like 15 tons.
But then it falls into the knee deep water and just swims away.
Right on its many heads.
So I that was probably my favorite part is the fact that the shark would change size. And that it would be able to swim into this like ankle deep water at times and suck people in.
Right.
I don't know. That was probably my favorite thing about the whole thing. And bravo, Asylum. Bravo for making up for the lack of nudity in Zombies by really giving us some quality, pointless, lazy, just stupid, dumb. And this is a Sci-Fi Channel movie too, so I'm assuming it was blurred out. Or
it was weird. That was weird. Yeah.
Because they cut the swears. Right. I was watching it and I realized when somebody says the S word, it's like shh. Like the H and the I are gone. There's no beat, but they drop the middle letter, so the S and the T.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
But we still have the nudity. I don't understand.
So this is what I think they did. So if you'll notice, so I was watching this with Rebecca. I
feel bad for her.
They front loaded all the nudity in like the first maybe like 15 minutes of the movie.
You're right.
And there are swears in that first 15 minutes of the movie. So what I think they did is they tacked on the unrated version. They just kind of splice it in, and then the rest of it is actually what they showed on Sci-Fi after those first 15 minutes.
I bet you. I think that makes perfect sense, actually. I think that's it.
Yeah. But we got Danny Trejo, so that's something, right? Danny Trejo with a machete.
Yeah, and Rob Van Dam, who from what I understand is a wrestler.
Oh, okay. But I literally recognize no one else in this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just happy to see Danny Trejo when he machetes off that shark's head. That was, I guess that's what he was doing, because all I see him is hacking, and then next you have a smash cut, and all of a sudden the shark's head falls off, and then whatever. Good for you, Danny Trejo. Though I was like, man, you want to talk about a guy with a crazy story? That's Danny Trejo. Look into his story sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But still, yeah, no, this was I couldn't really even enjoy it for its awfulness. I just wanted it to end, Matt. I really did.
Yeah, it was atrocious, but I mean, at least it was memorably atrocious. I'll give Zombies and Three-Headed Shark Attack as memorably atrocious, whereas After Midnight, and I'm ashamed, but not quite ashamed, that I can't even remember the name of the second movie we watched.
Kindergarten Cop 2.
Oh, Kindergarten Cop 2.
Second time this has happened. Listen,
I know. Well, that should really tell you something about Kindergarten Cop 2.
Here's why I think that out of this whole mini marathon where we're just doing 4, I'm not doing a 5th film.
Okay.
I think Kindergarten Cop was the most successful because it raised the greatest ire in me. I was most angry at Kindergarten Cop 2. So for that, bravo.
All right. See, I would go with the Asylum films because while they were unbelievably bad, at least I will remember parts of their unbelievable badness. I'm never going to forget that I'll never forget the zombie giraffes. I'll never forget switching from a really bad computer-generated ape to an even worse guy in a suit ape in the middle of Zoomies from scene to scene. Those are things that are just going to stick with me. I'm
riding the elephants
for a while.
Yeah,
riding the elephants. Yes, that's right.
That's some classic stuff.
The guy getting eaten on a toilet by a three-headed shark. I'm going to remember that too.
Let me ask you, man. I was thinking about that because I don't do this. I want to take a quick little public survey. Do you flush while still on the toilet? I don't.
No, I do not. No.
All right. I don't know if that was a thing I did or if that was something the movie got wrong. Because that was the kind of, this is stuff that
I've heard of the courtesy flush. I mean, so obviously, if I'm in like somebody's house that I don't know very well for whatever reason, and you don't want the stink, okay, you will, but it's not as a matter of habit,
Especially when something's coming up to the roof or the floor, and you don't know what it is.
Well, he was doing his business. He was doing his business, and he wasn't really paying attention to the giant shark, which again suddenly became the size of maybe like a Rottweiler as it came through the floor, as opposed to the.
Maybe that was part of its mutation. It had the ability to adjust its mass.
Maybe.
I'm assuming that's what
exactly.
it is. All right. Well, again, it's Asylum. We had some atrocious editing. Like when the party boat gets attacked by our adjusting shark, there are scenes where the people are still partying, even though it's already been attacked.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of weird stuff, like not weird, just laziness or just not giving a damn ishness. But that's what this film's all about, And one thing too, our lead in this film. Who's
the lead?
Karuchi Tran, Maggie Peterson, the Asian African American mixed woman. I think I don't know. I was having trouble placing her, which whatever. But whenever she had to become the leader and belt out orders, was the probably most awkward scenes in the entire film for me. I feel like she had just been given the lines right before those scenes every time, and then she's reading them off a card or something. It was really bad, really awkward, very stilted. So I apologize, Ms. Tran. I'm assuming you got screwed on this, and they just were giving you lines at the last minute because it was constantly under rewrites, really just to get that pitch perfect scene. So I'm not going to lay that on you. I'm going to try not to.
That's very big of you, Chris. You're a very generous, giving man.
I try, but every time, Matt, she had to deliver some big speech. All right, you do this. We're going to do this. And it was ridiculous. It was horrible. So. Yeah, I don't know. There's just, I don't know. It's Asylum. What do you expect, right? I have nothing. I have nothing else. I have nothing to say. I refuse to say anything more about this film. If you want to add anything, go ahead. But I'm done. I'm done.
I think it's pretty telling that we're at the home finish line here, and you just refuse to cross it with a fifth film. I think. I think straight to DVD picks of the week. They're really bad, and we're still hoping to find that diamond in the rough.
We can do, if you want, we can call a Hail Mary on Audible, I think is a proper term. And we can work in Hard Target 2 for the following week. So I still want to do this Blair Witch thing.
Okay.
But Hard Target 2 is on Netflix.
Okay.
So if you want, we can do that and give this thing a proper send-off.
Okay.
And we can do the awards thing, right? Where we do I think this would be the worst film of the series or the best performance. Let's best special effects. And now I'm getting upset. I'm not getting excited again. All right, let's do it.
All right. We're going to take a hiatus. We're going to do a palate cleanser, watch some Blair Witch, and then we'll go into Hard Target.
I'm going to take a week off, clean ourselves up a little bit. We'll do Hard Target 2.
Yeah.
And we'll do an awards thing. And then we'll call it a day. And then maybe we can still occasionally, if we see something that really looks interesting or fun, as we do the straight to DVD pick during the regular segment of the show, we can say, let's check that one out just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
But never a marathon again. Never.
Yes.
I can't put myself through this again. If you've had a chance to see Three-Headed Shark Attack, question your life and shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. I still need to know, can this thing change its size, and how does it swim in ankle-deep water? Science. I need to understand.
There's some things that never understand. I mean, why, if you're being terrorized by a giant three-headed shark, would you, and you're on dry land, why would you insist on swimming across hundreds of yards of open water to get to a tiny little boat? Just stay on the land.
Because remember, the land, I thought about this, and I remember that the land itself is sinking.
Oh, of course.
That's why they had to get off the island.
Okay, so once you got on the boat,
use your head, man.
Instead of going, miles and miles and miles up, and let's be honest, this is a river. It's not the ocean that they're on. Why don't they just take left and just go to the bank that you can clearly see? Like, that's literally like 200 yards away. Just go drive straight into the bank and you're good. You're back on land again. I'm sorry. I'm applying logic to a...
You can't... Yeah, no. That's just... Sorry. Let's just take a break. All right? And let's discuss what we think are our five most anticipated films of the rest of the year. Not named Rogue Squadron or Rogue One or Squadron Vader stuff, whatever it is. We'll be right back.
State your name for the record.
Jin Urso.
Forgery of imperial documents, possession of stolen property, aggravated assault, resisting arrest.
On your own from the age of 15, reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined.
This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
We have a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know what it is and how to destroy it.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What will you do when they catch you? What will you do if they break you? If you continue to fight? What will you become?
Matt, this proved to be a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
You think so?
I realized I'm not really super excited about a lot of the stuff that's coming out this year.
Fair enough. Yeah. I can concur with that. Yes.
Well, I don't want to run through because some of them may show up in your list, but especially once we yank out Rogue Squadron, it really gets a little more challenging for me. So I'll go first. You get the ultimate number one.
Okay.
My number 5, and I gotta admit, I'm not that excited about it. I'm not. Is Doctor Strange?
Okay.
I think the reason why it's a Marvel film, so at least it'll be entertaining.
Right.
I like me some Benedict Cumberbatch, so I'm interested for that. But overall, all right. It's yeah. I don't know. But that's my number 5 is it's the story of Stephen Strange, right? He's a world-renowned surgeon. He gets a car accident. His whole thing is his hands. Right, and he gets in this accident, and he supposedly got lots of nerve damage. He'll never be a surgeon again. So he decides to become Sorcerer Supreme. I'm not quite sure if there's anything in between there, but he becomes a superhero sorcerer guy. He's the magic part of the Marvel U. So I think that's why they're bringing him in.
Right.
So yeah, and I don't know if he fights Dormammu. I don't think it's Dormammu. I know it's one of my other favorite actors. Mads Mikkelsen is the bad guy. So thumbs up on that. But yeah, I don't know. Hilarity ensues. Maybe there's a Spider-Man cameo out. Whatever. Doctor Strange is my number 5.
All right. So this one's a bit of a cheat for me. My number 5, since it's out and we're going to be watching it next week, but or this week. But it's the Blair Witch, I should say. I just like the kind of whole marketing thing. They hooked me in, man. Kind of talking to this thing was the woods. Getting you early reviews of people who had, I guess, seen it. I don't know how they managed to do an embargo, saying it was really scary, blah, blah, blah. And they roll it out at Comic-Con. It turns out it's a Blair Witch sequel. I kind of like the stealth way they did this. So I'm very intrigued to see this. Do I think it's going to be as good as the original? Probably not. But, I think it's good. It sounds like it's going to be entertaining, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I've liked Adam Wingard's stuff so far. I like The Guest a lot. Your Next was really good, so... that's the director, folks. I don't know. Do you want to know what the Rotten Tomatoes score is? I don't know if I want to tell you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Whatever. I'm going to see it anyway.
Yeah, it's 38%.
Oh, okay. What about the audience score?
47.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, I kind of just eschewed everything from September. Everything from me is kind of October forward. So I don't know if it would have been my top. Probably would have been my number 5 if I had included it. But I thought since we're seeing it so soon,
right.
All right, my number 4 is Jim Jarmusch's documentary on the Stooges called "Gimme Danger." I am a huge Stooges / Iggy Pop fan, so I'm really excited to check this out. This is coming out October 28th. A band that never got the respect it deserved. Those first 3 albums, well, the first 2 albums of the Stooges, then the third one were Raw Power, which was released as Iggy and the Stooges. But those final 2, Funhouse and Raw Power, Matt, especially, are 2 of the greatest rock albums of all time. Mm-hmm. They are hard driving, terrifying albums. There's a violence in that music that you just didn't hear prior to that. If you haven't heard them, folks, I'm telling you, man, they are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to check that out. One of my favorite bands, a nice documentary by Jarmusch. So we'll have to see. So that's my number 4, and that's coming out October 28th.
All right, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah. My number 4 is your number 5, Doctor Strange. I won't belabor the point here. I'm not super excited to see it either. I guess I'll say the same thing, is that it is a Marvel movie, so they've earned my trust to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know that much about Doctor Strange. I never really read his comic books as a kid. So they, I'm always interested to see when you kind of get a Marvel movie that doesn't have a lot of baggage, like a Captain America or an Avengers or a Spider-Man or whatever, to see what they're going to do with it. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do, and I'm tentatively hopeful that it'll be better than expectations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3, Matt, is going to be Arrival from Denis Villeneuve, who did Prisoners. He did Sicario, and this is his latest film, The Arrival. Well, just Arrival. Mm-hmm. And Matt, it's when multiple mysterious spacecraft touch down across the globe. An elite team is put together to investigate, including linguist Louise Banks. This is Amy Adams, mathematician Ian Donnelly, Jeremy Renner, and U.S. Army Colonel Weber, Forrest Whitaker. Mankind teeters on the verge of global wars. Everyone scrambles for answers, and to find them, Banks, Donnelly, and Weber will take a chance that could threaten their lives and quite possibly humanity. I've loved Villeneuve's work so far, though I haven't caught up with Enemy yet. That's the one he did with Jake Gyllenhaal after Prisoners. So I'm really excited to check this out. It's supposed to be kind of an alternate kind of take on the sci-fi drama thriller thing. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So it's my number 3, Arrival. Oh, that's November 11th. I don't know if I said that.
November 11th. All right, so sticking with the sci-fi theme, my number 3 is Passengers. This stars Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, or J-Law, as the kids like to call her. But it's basically they're aboard a kind of generational colony ship, whereas Chris Pratt, he gets woken up early while they're on this travel through space. And, in his loneliness, he wakes up Jennifer Lawrence as they, on their 120-year voyage. So I've heard good things about this. It's kind of weird. There's not a lot of buzz on it. I think people are kind of saying, oh yeah, I forgot this movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt is coming out, in December. But, I'm curious to see what they can do with it. And we'll, obviously I'm, a fan of science fiction, so I'm going to go see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't make my list, Matt. There's something about it conceptually just didn't really appeal to me. We'll see it, and maybe I'll love it, but I don't know. It felt very, very look, let's get Chris Pratt, let's get J-Law, 2 of the hottest actors, let's do a sci-fi thing. I just didn't. I don't know what it is. I just feel there's no drive for me for this one.
Okay.
So it's an honorable mention for me, but it didn't make my top 5.
Okay.
My number 2 is La La Land, coming out December 2nd. About La La Land, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know that much about it. I mean, it's not generally my cup of tea, but I'll check it out if it gets good buzz.
So yeah, Emma Stone, I believe, is already being nominated for awards for this. Supposedly Ryan Gosling will as well. Some people are saying they're shoo-ins for Academy Award nominations. It's made by Damien Chazelle, who did the fantastic Whiplash. If you haven't seen that yet, you need to check that out. It's in the heart of LA. Aspiring actress Mia serves lattes to movie stars in between auditions, while their dedicated jazz musician Sebastian plays in dingy bars in order to scrape by. They meet and fall in love, but as success mounts, their dreams they work so hard to maintain start to threaten to rip them apart. So but the thing you got to realize, it's a musical. So I'm really excited about this. It's supposed to be fantastic. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to La La Land. And it's got Gosling and Stone, so you can't really go wrong there.
Interesting. Yeah, I forgot about your soft spot for musicals. It's one of my least favorite genres, and I know you've got a soft spot for it. So
I do, but I've only seen a few. I was very anti-musicals for a long time, and then one day I sat down and I watched Singing in the Rain, Matt, and it just blew me away. So I've got a little more open to the concept, and just the people involved in this is probably why I'm so excited as well. So,
all right, Chris. So don't get mad at me here. This one's a bit of a cheat. Okay, it's a cheat. So my number 2 is actually the new film from Marty, as we like to call him around here because we're very close friends. It's Silence. So this is why it's a cheat. Scorsese has said that the film is basically almost done in its finished form. They said it'll be wrapped up in editing sometime in mid-October. They plan to try and release it in 2016, but that's really up to Paramount to see if they're going to try and get it out before the award season is over. So really, we'll see if it happens. I mean, it sounds like it's going to happen, but it has no firm release date yet. Although, if you read around the internet, they're saying end of November, early December is when this thing will be coming out. But basically, it's a film about 2 Portuguese Jesuit priests. They travel to Japan to seek out their mentor and spread, the message of Christianity, and they face violent persecution from the Japanese population. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see it. I'm always interested to see Martin Scorsese's films, and I guess this is a bit of a passion project of his, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought that was going to be a while before that thing came out. I thought we were talking like next year at this point. Right. So that's why I didn't even. It sounds interesting. It's supposed to be potentially. Which is a crazy thing to say, but he's like magnum opus.
Really?
So I don't know if it's ever actually gonna. I don't know when it's coming out. So
right. Yeah, so I'm cheating on the side of optimism, I suppose. So
yeah, it's not. That doesn't count. Way to go. All right. My number 1 then, Matt, is The Founder.
Okay.
Are you familiar with The Founder?
Vaguely, but why don't you tell the kids at home?
So this is the Michael Keaton movie I was talking about previously. Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc, the man behind the expansion of McDonald's. He's a salesman in Illinois, and he meets Mac and Dick McDonald, who are operating a hamburger restaurant in Southern California. And it's Kroc that subtly maneuvers himself in the position where he takes over the company and expands it across the globe. But it's supposed to be that story. I saw the trailer for this a while back, and it looked fascinating. And I cannot wait to see Michael Keaton in this role. And I think this is going to be an Oscar nomination for him. I hope so. Everything I've heard is that it's supposed to be fantastic. I cannot wait to see it. So that's why it's my number 1, The Founder. And that's landing, Matt, on December 16th.
Okay. All right. So my number 1 is, I think it was your number 3, is Arrival. The buzz I've heard on this from sites that I trust or as far as the geek sites that I travel on the interwebs, saying that this is probably one of the best sci-fi films that they've seen in a long time. So that's got me really kind of amped to see it. I'm always down for kind of like an unexpected genre treat, if you will. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's besides Rogue One, I think this is definitely my most anticipated film of the rest of the fall.
All right, that's fair. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I've got a lot. So I had a trio of comedies that I'm always kind of on the fence for, but Masterminds with Zach Galifianakis and Kristen Wiig. It looks like it could be funny.
I know, but I feel like it could be a disaster too.
Right. So that's why I'm putting it on the honorable mentions. I'm also putting on Why Him, which stars Bryan Cranston and James Franco, who is obviously a friend of the show.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, could be terrible, but I mean, really, there's not a whole lot coming out in comedy, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Mascots, which is the new film, the new mockumentary from Christopher Guest.
Got that one
very soon.
October 13th.
October 13th. Shin Godzilla, whenever that comes out over here.
Yeah, October 11th, supposedly. Yeah, I'm on board with that one as well. Yeah.
And A Monster Calls, and even though I think it's a terrible whitewashing, and I'm still kind of curious to see what the Great Wall is all about, which is the monsters attacking the Great Wall, and of course 2 English guys come along to save the day. So we'll see.
Thank God for white people.
That's right. Well, Matt Damon. When Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne comes rolling in there with his longbow. You sit up and listen.
I'm torn about this kind of stuff because I appreciate, I get it, and I hate it too when you have the white actors coming in to play these, to come up with to tackle these historical or these foreign films, right? And of course, it's the white guy that saves the day, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But here's the problem: if Matt Damon isn't in this movie, it probably doesn't get made. Right. So it's kind of a bit of a catch-22 with that. And you want to see this movie? Great. All right. Well, here's the guy that's going to open it for you.
Right. Exactly. So here's who's going to put some butts in the seats come day one. Right.
Yeah. Now I would see this movie regardless. Right. If there was some other Asian actor in it, I would want to see it. But we're talking about the general movie-going public, and Matt Damon's a draw. And is it a bad thing? That's the way it is. Yeah. It probably is. But listen, if it's the only way this movie is going to get made, is it a necessary evil? Probably, maybe. I don't know. It's too bad. But yeah, I am curious about it as well. I agree. All right, Matt, a couple of things I had that you didn't mention. One that almost made my list for sure was Jackie. Natalie Portman getting rave reviews as Jackie Kennedy in her life and what happened to her immediately after JFK was assassinated. Park Chan-wook's latest film, The Handmaiden, and I should say Jackie's coming out December 9th. Serious Oscar buzz for her on that. The Handmaiden from Park Chan-wook, who did Stoker, one of my favorite films. That's coming out October 14th. Edge of 17 is supposed to be this teenage comedy. It's supposed to be very funny with Haley Steinfeld and Woody Harrelson. It's coming out on November 18th. I saw the trailer for this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah, that trailer looked hilarious. What else? You already mentioned Godzilla and mascots. Christine, have you heard about this, Matt? The Christine Chubbuck story coming out on October 14th. Mm-hmm. So this is from 1974. There was this woman. She was battling depression. She was a reporter who did some life and style pieces on TV. And her producer at the station kept pushing her to do much more violent fare. Listen, if it bleeds, it leads, that whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. So in protest, she shot herself on air in the head. It's a true story. And this is the film that's about her story and what happened there. American Honey coming out September 30th. This is about a woman named Star. She's a free-spirited teenager on the brink of adulthood, Matt, and then she leaves her troubled home and gets on these adventures. Unfortunately, Shia LaBeouf's in it, but it's an A24 film. So, Matt, you and I are going to be basically interested in that. And possibly then for me, the most troubling film, the film that probably would have been my number one if all the horrible S hadn't come out. And that's Birth of a Nation. Coming out October 7th, about the Nat Turner Rebellion. Matt, I was really looking forward to this. Supposedly, it was at times a little amateurish, but the story it told and it was supposed to be absolutely riveting. Written and directed by Nate Parker. Unfortunately, there have been some allegations that Mr. Parker participated in allegedly a gang rape of a woman in college, and that has kind of soured everybody's desire to see this film. And it gets to that point, Matt. Well, what do you do, right? If you have a guy, possibly an exceptionally talented artist, at what point does their life bleed into their work?
Right.
I give you Roman Polanski. Some people may say Woody Allen. I don't know. So I don't know what to do about Birth of a Nation, Matt. I really don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to separate the artist from the art. I mean, because
you know? That's the thing. Do you? Because the work includes the artist's feelings and emotions, and it's a representation of who they are. So do you separate it? And here's the problem. Birth of a Nation, there's supposed to be an absolutely brutal rape scene of Nate Turner's wife, which is one of the things that sparks him.
Okay.
So can you? And how do you do it? At what point is it okay? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I guess I would say this. I mean, I guess, if you can't do that, then I think there's a lot of art that you can't enjoy, whether it's literature or paintings or music or really anything, because unfortunately there's a lot of things in a lot of people's past that that we probably are big fans of from their work that you just can't, that you wouldn't be able to enjoy on its own merits if you just kind of got into that point. But I understand this. I understand the struggle, or understand the kind of problem that you're having. I mean, we'll see it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we can or not.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting conversation. All right. That's it. Those are our 5 most anticipated films of the rest of the year, with our honorable mentions tossed in. What are you most looking forward to? Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Remember, you can't include Rogue Squadron because we all know it's everybody's number 1. So check us out. You can find us on thefirstrun.com. Run YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just do a search for The First Run. Again, First Run on Instagram. Why won't you follow us? We're your sister name. I don't understand what you're waiting for.
Was it what we did at the family reunion? I mean, we're sorry. I mean, we'd had a few. It was all right. I mean, we apologize profusely. We know what we did, but we're hoping you can forgive us.
Well, yeah, all right, whatever, fine. So anyway, we're going to take an extended break. We'll be back next week with our discussion of the Blair Witch. So tune in for that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Matt! I almost did it again. You get one more card. You get one more question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you're left with drama/musical. Don't worry, it's drama.
Okay.
True or false? Gus Van Sant's movie Drugstore Cowboy is about pharmacy heists.
Yeah, it is. Right? Yeah, yes.
True, it is. Congratulations.
Yes.
Nicely
yes.
done.
I had to stop and think there for a second.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, and that's it. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. We'll see you all soon. Take care.
Bye.
Wait. Look sad. Look what I'm offering you. Your dream.